Good day, and welcome to the Government House weekly press briefing for the week of December 12th, 2022. For the benefit of the radio listening audience, I am Government House Communications Director Richard Mota. Happy holidays. It is good to be back after a busy 2 weeks, both in the nation's capital and in New York, where I joined Governor Bryan and key members of his cabinet and senior staff for discussions with our federal partners on matters relating to the continuing hurricane recovery and rebuilding effort and other pressing issues in the territory. We have a short update this afternoon before opening to questions from the media. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. is inviting all the boys and girls in the territory who have been nice this year to his annual Governor's Children's Christmas Party. There will be toys, treats, music, giveaways, and lots more. And of course, Santa will be there to greet all the good boys and girls. The festivities begin this afternoon at 6 p.m. on King Street in St. Croix, and so that is the street right directly in front of Government House in St. Croix, with a drive-through gift-giving event. As a result, there will be changes to the regular traffic pattern on King Street and traffic delays in the Christiansted town area. So please plan accordingly. I encourage avoiding the King Street area altogether if you are not planning on participating in this evening's activity. Tomorrow, Tuesday, December 12th, the fun moves to Cruise Bay St. John, where the public is invited to the Franklin A. Powell Senior Park at 6 p.m. for the Governor's Christmas Party there in St. John. And last but not least, the celebration continues at 6 p.m. on Wednesday at the Haven-Site Mall in St. Thomas. The available gifts are for children ages 0 to 16 years of age. So for newborns all the way up to 16 years of age, there will be gifts for you at the Governor's various gift-giving events. Also note that the activities on Tuesday in Cruise Bay and on Wednesday at Haven-Site Mall are not drive-through activities, and so I'll repeat that. Only the event this evening on St. Croix is a drive-through event. The other two, on Tuesday in Cruise Bay and on Wednesday at Haven-Site Mall, are not drive-through events. So if I were you and you plan on attending, I would plan on attending early so you can get adequate parking to those activities. Speaking of the holiday season, the Crucian Christmas Festival is officially in full effect. This year's festivities also happen to coincide with the governor and lieutenant governor's inaugural activities. So I want to ensure the public knows the most up-to-date schedule of events surrounding these respective activities. Beginning with Christmas, Governor Albert Bryan has authorized administrative leave on Friday, December 23rd, 2022, for non-essential government employees territory-wide from 1 to 5 p.m. to participate in Christmas Eve reflections. So on December 23rd, all non-essential government employees territory-wide have been granted administrative leave by Governor Albert Bryan Jr. from 1 to 5 p.m. So essentially, Friday, December 23rd, for all non-essential government employees will be a half day. So at 1 p.m., if you are a non-essential government employee, you are granted administrative leave, and you can begin your Christmas Day weekend at that current point. Governor Bryan has also authorized administrative leave for non-essential government employees territory-wide on Monday, January 2nd, in observance of New Year's Day, which falls on January 23rd, which is a Sunday, and for participation in the inauguration festivities on the island of St. Thomas. The governor also granted administrative leave for non-essential government employees on St. John on Tuesday, January 3rd, to attend and participate in the inauguration festivities on the island of St. John, and has granted administrative leave on Wednesday and Thursday, January 4th rather, and 5th to non-essential government employees on St. Croix, also to attend and participate in the inaugural festivities on St. Croix, which will be held on January 4th, and also to attend and participate in the Crucian Christmas Festival and Juve on Thursday, January 5th. I know that was a mouthful, and so I will repeat that. On Monday, January 2nd, in observance of New Year's Day, which falls on Sunday, January 1st, the governor has granted administrative leave territory-wide for all non-essential government employees for participation in the inaugural festivities on the island of St. Thomas. So that is in observance of New Year's Day on January 1st and for participation in the inauguration festivities on the island of St. Thomas. The governor has granted administrative leave for all non-essential government employees territory-wide on Monday, January 2nd. And on Tuesday, January 3rd, the governor has granted administrative leave for all non-essential government employees on the island of St. John to attend and to participate in the inaugural festivities on the island of St. John, which occurred that day. And also on January 4th and 5th, the governor has also granted administrative leave to non-essential government employees on the island of St. Croix to attend and participate in the inaugural activities in St. Croix on January 4th, and also to attend and participate in the Crucian Christmas Festival Juve and Festival Food, Arts, and Crafts Fair on Thursday, January 5th. And so that rounds out the Crucian Christmas Festival calendar in terms of administrative leave granted to government employees. As you know, Friday, January 6th, which is a public holiday, which is Three Kings Day. And so Friday, January 6th will be a holiday for all government employees. In closing, that concludes our briefing this afternoon. As I mentioned, it was going to be a short one, and we just wanted to make sure that everyone is up to date with all of the activities that are occurring starting this evening and that will continue throughout the next 2 weeks and in the holiday season. I will take any questions from the media now if there are any, and I see that the Virgin Islands Daily News is joining us virtually. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Suzanne Carlson.
Good afternoon. It sounds like Suzanne Carlson. Go ahead and repeat. I can't really hear you that well.
Yep, it's Suzanne Carlson. EPA and OSHA inspectors identified serious concerns about the way the St. Croix refinery's current owners have been managing dangerous chemicals on site. Even though the refinery is idle, more the local government could be doing to inspect businesses and make sure the community is safe from these hazards.
So I'm sorry, Suzanne. I'm having a hard time hearing your question. Can you please repeat? It seems to have a poor connection. Can you repeat your question?
EPA and OSHA inspectors have identified serious concerns at the St. Croix refinery. Even though the refinery is idle, is there more the local government could be doing to ensure that these dangerous chemicals don't pose a threat to the community?
I'm having a hard time hearing you, but I think if I could repeat your question, I think what I'm hearing you asking is about the refinery, and even though the refinery is idle, if there's more that the local government can be doing to ensure, and I didn't hear that last part.
To ensure the community's safety, because the EPA and OSHA have said that ongoing threats exist. because of the leftover chemicals that are not being properly stored.
Okay, yeah, so I'll try my best to answer your question based on how I understand you're asking it. Yeah, the refinery is not currently in operation. There has been talks between the EPA and Port Hamilton Refining and Transportation LLC. They are working out what they have to do to bring that refinery in compliance. The local government has been somewhat a party to that to those conversations, and have been working with both the refinery operators and the EPA to ensure that that the proper monitoring is in place, and that what is required of the refinery operator to bring the refinery back in operation is happening, and so yes, that is happening, and I think you were asking how are we ensuring that we are protecting the safety of the community, and that would be my answer there. We are working with the Environmental Protection Agency and the refinery operator to ensure that all compliance standards are met before bringing the refinery online.
Right. Could the local government have done more over the last year before the federal government did inspections and found that chemicals were being improperly stored? Does DPNR have the authority to go inspect the refinery?
DPNR has, and not to speak for the agency, but yes, DPNR has been they have been a party to those conversations. They as a function, they have been working with the refinery operator. They have been participants in those inspections, and so yes, the answer to that question is yes.
Is the government doing anything to address the lack of available beds for people in need of mental health treatment?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is the government doing anything to address the lack of available beds for people in need of mental health treatment?
Is the government doing anything to address the lack of available beds for people? Yeah, I mean, Suzanne, you know, we've had that. You've asked that question, I believe, several weeks ago, and I answered that question. There are some ongoing initiatives, and there is a legislative initiative being moved through the legislature right now to help to help add to the territory's offerings with respect to mental health and behavioral and developmental health. And so I don't have an update for you. I mean, you've asked that question 2 weeks ago. I provided you where we were at with the status on that. And so the answer remains the same.
Okay, my last question. When can we expect a response to the public request about taxpayer money spent on the trip to Colorado? What's the status of medicinal?
Yeah, Suzanne. I mean, we spoke about this on Friday. Not sure if you remember that conversation, but you reached out to me on Friday. From the executive branch, from the office of the governor, our legal counsel, we are complying with that request, that document request, and so we're complying with that. It's just going to take a little while to collate all of that information. I mentioned that to you on Friday, and I'm not sure if you recall that conversation, but that is in progress. And so I will give you a status update as soon as we get all that information that you have requested. Is quite an extensive list of documents that you've requested, and so that's going to take some time to collate. So I beg your indulgence, and I ask for your patience while we comply with that records request.
Okay, and what's the status of implementation of medicinal cannabis law?
Excuse me?
What is the status of the implementation of the medicinal cannabis law?
Again, you asked that question several weeks ago. I told you that the best entity for the rules and regulations on the implementation of medicinal marijuana is the Office of Cannabis Registry. I cannot give you an informed status on that. That is the regulatory entity that is tasked with providing those rules and regulations.
Okay, they're not responding, so.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Thank you, Suzanne, for your questions. Do we have any other media? Being signaled that we do not have any other media joining us virtually this afternoon. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in and happy holidays. And I hope to see you at this week's events, and enjoy the rest of your holiday season. Take care.